Welcome to the Design and Style podcast, a podcast for designers by designers. And I am Rachel with Rachel Moriarty Interiors and my co-host Dixie with
Dixie Willard Design.
Design and Dixie.
I am designing Dixie.
You are. I love that name. That's like the best name ever.
Thanks.
You were meant to be a designer.
Yes.
So this morning, it's afternoon for you.
It is.
East Coast,
Mm-hmm.
West Coast.
But you know me, I say good morning no matter what time of day it is. So good morning.
Exactly. We are going to talk about our Design and Style club a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
We are running. If you aren't in the club, definitely come and join us and hang out in the club. There's a lot of valuable things we do in there. And this week we are doing another online visibility challenge.
Mm-hmm.
This week we are focusing on showing your past projects, like going into the vault of your photos and taking them and refreshing them. Because what happens is you get new followers all the time. And, if I go back through my Dropbox and I literally forget about some of these projects. So I'm like, if I forgot about them, definitely somebody else has,
Well, and, you and I both have followed each other very closely for the last couple of years. I see almost everything that you do. And even you were testing and I could tell that there was something different going on, but it was stuff that you had done that I hadn't seen.
So when Dixie says testing, she and I will do things. So I will come up with an idea, and I think this is like the funnest part about this group and this podcast. So I will come up with something that I want to kind of like, I guess, approach you with,
Mm-hmm.
a concept or an idea or for a challenge or, something that I think would benefit our group members. But you have to test it first, right? And so we call everything basically that we do is our laboratory, And so what I do is I will take this idea, I will put it on my magic Trello board, and then I will kind of like break it up into I'll formulate it a little bit, and then I'll start testing it on my business pages, right?
Start doing experiments.
And then after that, when it's a good, because if it falls flat, then no big deal, right?
Yeah.
But I'm so brilliant that it hasn't happened yet.
Well, I mean, let's talk about some of the other ones that we've done. My shirt, hello. If you're listening to us, you need to go check out the video on the website. But figuring out that people don't care what you wear. Sometimes they do. But, I did an experiment to see if anybody would even notice, and like 3 people did.
Yeah.
So we have these. I love it. I'm sorry. Our visibility lab experiments make you feel like a mad scientist.
And I love when I'm like, I'll even send you a text and be like,
what are you doing?
Are you doing a lab experiment?
And I thought the same thing when you started doing those videos. I thought, something's coming out of this.
Brewing over there. I love it. So basically what we are always going to come at visibility in different ways. Visibility is a big topic, right? And so what I really encourage the designers to do is get out from behind your laptop. A lot of our designers, me included, I mean, that's the thing. Us included, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why we love to do this, because it keeps us in check.
Oh,
keeps
yeah.
Us accountable.
That's pretty much the secret sauce. We're not doing this for all of them. We're doing it for ourselves.
It really is. Just play with us. So, we don't want to, as designers, we can't hide behind our laptops, which is where we love to hide, right? But we need to come out. We need to show our work. We need to at least stand next to our work, but I prefer if we stand in front of our work. So go back in those projects maybe a couple of years ago when you weren't as visible, when you weren't as confident, even, I have so much when I go back has changed
Oh,
between how I edit my photos.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
was a little heavier handed when I was decorating. I'm pretty
Mhm.
heavy handed for myself, but with my clients, I'm not as heavy handed as in anymore. Um, but what I will do is I will take the best of the grouping of photos and then mix in, different inspiration and stuff like
Mhm.
that, and refresh it, repackage it, and put it out again.
Yeah.
And the comments and engagement has been off the charts in organic reach, like unbelievable. So that was my lab test, right? So what we did this week is we did a challenge, and I went in and explained it.
It just started
And
yesterday.
just started yesterday, and so if you can hop in, and you don't have to do it in real time. It'll
Right.
always be sitting there, and then
Mhm.
get on our newsletter and we will send out a recap.
I
um,
do. I make it all nice and neat so you don't even have to hunt anything down in order even.
exactly. So what happens though during these challenge is whoosh, we start to see, and if you're on YouTube, sorry about that. uh, Hope I didn't scare you. I just flared my hands up in the air. But resistance, we start to see resistance pop up
Yeah.
in so many forms. Um, and
Yeah.
good old resistance, our friend resistance, just
Yeah.
when you think
Yeah.
you've gotten over something. That's why I like to personify some of those things.
Mhm.
It's like, oh, hello, resistance. There you are again. Welcome
Mhm.
to the party, but you got to stay back there.
Get out of the way.
Get out of the way. Yeah. Welcome to this party. Um, so what happens is though, we start to hear resistance in the form of this new thing, like maybe this new app that, so day one was using a Ripple app. What you'll hear is, I only have the free version. I don't have the paid version. Does this template do this? Can I make mine like yours? What about the fonts? I can't find a font that's, that matches my brand, blah, blah, blah.
Mhm.
It's like before people even go in and try it, it's like 10 excuses why they
Yeah.
shouldn't.
Yeah.
And we are creative solutions providers, right? And
Right.
so we are probably the most creative people on earth. um, Dixie had a problem getting her app, this app. And
I
this is what I tell
did.
people: it's not about the app. This is the app that I use, but there are so many other apps out there. I have an
Exactly.
iPhone. If you don't have, I don't know, even know what's available for the Androids.
Right.
I'm sure there's different apps that do the exact same thing. Even for iPhone, I just happen to use this one all the time. Like that's my go-to. You can use iMovie. You can use, uh, you found one yesterday that looked really cool called
I did, and I'm
Wave.
actually super excited about it. And honestly, I wouldn't have ever found it if I hadn't had issues getting Ripple to. I had Ripple on and uninstalled it, and then went to
What?
reinstall it.
What? We cannot
I,
be friends.
I may have uninstalled it, but after I had uninstalled it, something didn't go right, and so I could not reinstall it. It kept saying, "No, you." I don't know. It was complicated. So I started looking for some other apps. And there were a couple, and I downloaded two of them, and they looked really cool. But I don't do well working on a screen where the pictures are, this big. If you can't see me, you really should watch the video. Go watch the video too. But tiny screens for me, it's just not my thing.
Right.
It's
You're
not my thing.
definitely a desktop laptop worker.
I am everything just about laptop. I'm
Yeah.
using my laptop for. So I thought, well, this is stupid. Why am I making myself go blind when I could probably find something that would work for the laptop? And so I did what? I used my best friend Google. I love Google. I literally just typed in Ripple alternative. I came up with, I found all kinds of cool stuff just from doing this one little Google search, stuff that I probably will be using from now on. And just by doing that, I found this video. Now, the trial version only lets you do 10 seconds, and it didn't turn out great. But a
But
posted
it's not
video,
about that. It's not
because
about
it's
that.
about showing that you can do something. And it's,
How was your first of anything going to be great? First
oh
of
no,
all,
I can't, yeah.
you know what I mean? The first time you do anything, what?
It's not good.
And that's why with our remember when I called out our perfectionists and overachievers in the group,
Yes,
which is everyone, including me and
yes.
you.
We should not, which is why I went ahead and posted mine, because I was like, yeah, um, it's
But what I loved
cool.
about it is, a lot of times there will be things in the group that come up and I have to go Google it to
Yeah.
answer it, where I'm like, why can't you just Google it? It's so
I
funny. So I love that you just didn't know and
Oh, I
you
Google
Googled it. I do
everything.
too.
My family makes
Resourcefulness.
fun of me because I Google so much
Well, we're
stuff.
designers, we're resourceful, and
Yes.
Google is like the easiest thing to do, right? So that's the thing. So you
Mhm,
posted your video and it was a
mhm,
10-second clip, but it was like, this was my problem. I couldn't download the app. I overcame it. I found another one. I did a video. It shrunk it to 10 seconds because it was a trial, but here it is. I'm putting it out in the world
mhm.
anyway.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I loved that. I love that.
Well, and I even quoted my favorite line from a movie ever, anywhere. It's from Heartbreak Ridge, when Clint Eastwood is talking about that they are Marines. And what do Marines do? Which I don't think of Marines this way, but they improvise, they improvise, they adapt, they overcome.
Yes.
And that's what we do as designers every
I
day.
think we need to literally use those words.
I did. I put them in there because
Yeah.
I'm all. I think I have decided that's going to be like my battle cry from now on. Improvise, adapt, and overcome.
Right. Instead of I feel like now it's like excuses, resistance, stuck.
And
You know what I
it's not
mean?
like we haven't done that before ourselves. But the point is that, you know. Well, and you had. I loved your analogy that you had earlier.
Yes, designers, please. So this is what it's like to me in Dixie when we put out a challenge and we're walking through the challenge with you, doing it. Um, so it's like, and we know you will get this, right?
Mhm.
You have a client, you create a concept board or a concept or a first look
First look.
for feeling, starting the
Yes.
conversation, starting the process with your client, starting the collaboration, and you send it over and they're like, yeah, it's pretty, but that bowl on the table, I can't get over that bowl. And you're like, the bowl has nothing to do with it. Do you like
Right.
the way the room feels? Do you like the color scheme? Do you like the airiness? Do you like,
Mhm.
and they're like, but the
Yes.
bowl. And you're like, the bowl, forget the bowl. You know what I mean? And then you'll even like bring it back. You're like, oh, I need to revise this. Let me do a
Yes.
new one. And you do it without the bowl,
It's the same exact
and they
thing, just
still
without the
keep
bowl.
going back to like the bowl, and you're just like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
stop, stop.
Yeah.
It's exactly like that. So that is, I just want you to, I even did a little thing in the group today. I want you to notice when you find yourself saying, oh, this little video, it isn't my brand or whatever. Is it just resistance kicking in? Is it just because, is it giving you an excuse not to do it? Is it because you
Mhm.
really don't want to do it? Is it, what is it? Just call it what it is. Don't pretend
Well,
like you have
and
client
worrying about the
work.
little things like this thing, this one video, this first video I've ever created isn't my brand. You know what? That's okay. You got to learn
It's
on
better
top
than
of it.
putting nothing out, which is what we are seeing. We are
Yeah.
seeing designers not putting anything
Yeah.
out, and
You can
that's so
practice
that's
and get better.
that's the pattern break. And you will see with these, the thing is with these ripple videos, I get as much sometimes or more engagement on these
Yeah.
videos than I do on my live
Yeah.
streams. And Facebook is pushing out live streams right now. So these ripple videos are impactful. They will stop the scroll. We are designers.
Mhm.
What we do is cool. It's glamorous.
It is.
Our transformations are gorgeous. The designers, Dixie, every time they do this and show their work,
I know.
I am in awe
I
of
know.
what they do.
And all of the different, out of all of the videos that I saw yesterday, they were all so good and so different and unique and wonderful.
Yeah. And a lot of people are apologizing. They'll put out the
I
video and they'll be
know.
like, I'm sorry, I this and that. There's nothing worse than that energy to me. It's like, try to come at
Mhm.
it with, I did my first video, you know what I mean? Like I did
Yeah,
it, like that
there
is
you
such
go.
a different energy than here's the video and I'm going to slink away from it now.
Yeah.
But we get that. I mean, that's why we do in the visibility, because you do feel like that at first. You will put something out like a video and you'll feel like you want to go to bed for the rest of the day if you're not
Mhm.
used to sharing yourself and your work, right? So
Well,
that is
I'm sure that even Picasso, when he was a 2-year-old drawing, was no Picasso.
right. Yes, there's a
You
lot of
got to
learning in
start
between.
somewhere.
Everybody. You think of a pro athlete, hours and hours and
Yeah.
tens of thousands of hours on the
Yes.
court, throwing, missing shots.
Hmm.
I mean, it's just, we just got to get into the work. The other thing is, um, somebody came in and said, this is great info, but I've got client work. We get it. Do not stop doing your client work to, do this. But I can pretty sure, what do I want to say? I can tell you with certainty that there are areas in your life, maybe don't zone out on Netflix or don't, um,
Don't go
this
to
is,
bed and read for 2 hours when you really should be going to sleep, like I might have done last night.
yeah, there are times you can find in your day. I only know this because I started my design business as a side hustler when I was a bank manager. And there were so many times in my day I had habits of watching TV, of
Mm-hmm.
zoning out on social media. So that's the thing about our groups. A lot of the excuses don't really fly with us because we are working designers with the same issues that you have. We are working on client work too. We're not saying like stop your client work and do our challenge because it's the
No,
most important thing
no.
in the world, but you know
Here's an
our
opportunity.
tolerance for that is not like super high.
It's just like doing PEUs, though. I mean, we are expected as interior designers
To
to
continue our
continue
education.
education.
Yes,
And
yes.
this, you need to start thinking of it as this is a new way of doing things. Is you're continuing your education. Now, granted, I'm not going to give you any IDCEC or whatever it is approved credits that's going to,
Right.
but it's really good for your business to stay in touch with the new technology and new ways of being visible.
Exactly. And stay visible. That's the thing. And this is the whole purpose of this week's challenge, is because a lot of people ask me, how do I create so much content? Because I go back to the vault.
Hmm.
I don't have to make it up.
Hmm.
It's already there. It already exists. These are our business assets. And I wish people would think of their project photos as business assets. Think about the time that went into that project. Think about that styling day, the cost of the photography. And it also depreciates like business assets because if it was very on trend, we try to do timeless, but if it was on trend, the further you get out from that, the more it depreciates and then you won't
Yeah.
be able to use it at all. So use it
Yeah.
while you can, repackage it, renew it, you know, as we go, there's different technology, right? We didn't have
Yeah.
these little Ripple videos a couple of years ago when we
No.
first started. It didn't exist.
Mm-mm.
So you want to look innovative. You want to look fresh too. You want to stop that scroll. Um,
And I have to say, one of my favorite ones that I saw was actually from an e-designer just explaining what
yes,
e-design is. That was
yes,
genius.
yes.
That was not any before after pictures. That was just, look, this is the way it works. I
And then
loved
somebody even said, what if you don't have before photos? So I did a video with one photo. I did a video with 2
Yep.
photos. You know, there
Yep.
it's like so much it's, you know,
Improvise, adapt,
overthinking.
overcome.
Yeah, overthinking, I think it is, you know,
Mhm.
overthinking, which, you know, we all know as designers. That's why you and I can talk about it, because I overthink
Oh my
all
gosh.
day long,
Yeah,
all
me
day
too.
long, you
Me
know?
too.
So
Like we said, this is just as much for us.
we're having, and that's what this podcast is. These are conversations that happen between Dixie
Yes.
and I all the time, you
Yes.
know? It's like, oh, I'm overthinking this thing. I'm overthinking this
Mhm.
project. I'm overthinking sending this email. I'm overthinking this. I'm overthinking that. You
Yep.
know, we get it. We get it. But we're here to walk through this with you. Um, we are pretty masterful at visibility at this point, so that's why we
Yeah.
share. Yeah, that's why we share this with you, and we've reaped the benefits. And in August we are going to go over, because we, oh god, the eyebrows, we're going to go over, you know, what a year of visibility
That's
has
right.
each of us in our own ways, and you know what's come out of it. So
It's going to be a big, we are having all kinds of fun in August in the club. I'm just going to say.
yeah, it's definitely launched a lot for us. So I think we'll end it right there, Miss
Mhm.
Dixie.
So, if you want to find out about all of these wonderful, wonderful things, you can go to one convenient location. Head on over to designandstyle.club. That is our website. Our episodes are all posted there, video as well as audio. The show notes are there. You'll get an opportunity to sign up for the newsletter. Come join the club. So it's just one convenient location, designandstyle.club.
Bye, guys.
Bye.